Well, our lecture today is about the third kind of clauses that you might find in a complex sentence, and it is the title of this clause, or it is called noun clauses, and sometimes you find in books its name is nominal clause. And okay, so you have it noun clause or nominal clause. So it replaces the place of a noun, but it doesn't support, it doesn't add more information. It replaces the place of a noun in a sentence. Now ask yourself, where could be the noun in a sentence? Where could be the noun in the sentence? Any one of you can answer me? In the sentence, where can we find the noun? At which place? Let me see. Yes, Yarana.
Yeah, we have noun in the first place.
So it is good. It could be what? If it is at the first place, it could be what? Subject. Good. So it could be in the place. يعني it takes the noun clause or the nominal clause. It could take the place of the subject. So instead of he or she or it or the students, or so when it is the subject of the sentence, we may find the noun clause or the nominal clause. This is number one. What else? What else? Yes, يا حسين هادي.
Yes. صباح الخير دكتور.
Good morning.
Position of object.
Okay, so the position of an object. It could be in the place of a position of an object. Yes, that's right. What else? Yes, يا زينب عماد.
Good morning.
Good morning.
After preposition and after the object.
What do you mean after the preposition and after the object? How comes that it is after the object?
I mean, noun and the sentence can find in after preposition.
Preposition, mom.
Yeah. And after the adjective, we can find a noun.
Objective. There is no objective. Objective something which is in Arabic موضوعي. Objective موضوعي. Subjective يعني something related to the person, يعني الرأي الشخصي للشخص. But in grammar we have object, subject, not objective, subjective. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so after the object, what do we have after the object? And what is called? We have subject, object. What do we have after the object?
Objective, I mean, it's a noun.
ورجعنا مرة ثانية قلنا objective يا زينب عماد. ماكو شيء اسمه objective. Objective معناته موضوعي وليست مكان في داخل الجملة. Objective هذا شيء موضوعي، يعني أنت تقيمين الشغلة objectivity من ناحية موضوعية، وإذا تقيميها مثلا أحيانا subjectivity أو subjective من ناحية شخصية، يعني أوكي؟ عرفتي؟ فماكو شيء اسمه بالجرامر objective. اكو object اكو subject. Okay, now I am going to tell you what do you mean. Sometimes the verb, it takes two objects, so you mean it could be the direct object and it could be the indirect object. Okay, so the noun could be in the place of the subject, and the noun could be in the place of an object, whether it is direct or indirect. And after the prepositions, within the prepositional phrase, also we can find a noun. For example, at the mall, in the school, in the restaurant. So the restaurant, the school, these are nouns. Okay? So the noun clause, as it is written there in the PDF, what is the noun clauses? They function as subjects, objects, or complements. A noun clause may be introduced by a relative pronoun, which is that, only that. A relative pronoun. ما راح ناخذ كل البروناونز. No. هسه احنا شنو عندنا بالريلاتيف بروناونز؟ كانت عندنا who. بالريلاتيف بروناونز كان عندنا who, whom, whose, what, that, right, where, when, why, right? And we take those which also, which. Those were what? Relative pronouns within the relative clauses, if you remember. Now, in our lecture today, when it is said relative pronoun, we mean only that. We take only that. Out of all of them, only that. So, a noun clause may be introduced by a relative pronoun, اللي هو that, or interrogative clauses, which starts within or by, which starts by whether, when, where, why, or how. يعني ممكن shared، ممكن تكون when shared، but here these are relative pronouns. No, they are not relative pronouns. They are subordinate words within interrogative clauses. Within interrogative clauses. What do you mean by interrogative clauses? Questioning clauses, but they are not a question. They are not questions. You know why they are not questions? Because they don't end within a question mark, and the structure is just like a statement. As I'm going to explain for you what is meant by the structure is just like a statement. So the noun clause could be introduced as subordinate conjunction word, by a relative pronoun that, or by interrogative pronouns or words which are like whether, when, where, why, and how. So within the interrogative clauses we don't, or within the noun clauses we don't have who, we don't have whom, we don't have whose, and we don't have which. Okay? They are shared, but the meaning of them, they are shared where, when, and why. Yes, they are shared as words, but not as their function, not as what do they do within the sentence. Okay? So, within the first link, now it is complete. I can't add more. We may have some 2 or 3 students within the second link. هذه جاي أحكي عليه دخول المحاضرة. الرابط الأول قبط، الرابط الثاني ممكن بمجال. Now, within their interrogative clauses, there is no question mark at the end, so they are not questions at all. They are not questions. اللي هم interrogative clauses. And the structure is just like the statement. Now, what do you mean by the structure is just like the statement? Within the questioning, we sometimes I either put the auxiliary verb before the noun or the subject, before the noun or the subject, and sometimes we need to use certain auxiliary verbs, like in the sentence just like this, they are studying English. This is a statement, right? They are studying English. If I am going to make it a question, I am going to say what. So I used what, right? I used what. What are they? I changed the place of are to be before the subject. What are they studying? So this is the structure of what? Of the question. Like if I have something like why, a what, we don't have what. Okay, what they are studying. Now this is not a question. This is a WH clause. It is a WH clause. What is called interrogative clauses to show that this is a noun clause. It is a noun clause. Okay, it should replace a place of a noun. Now, this is what is meant by the structure is just like the statement. Now, the structure is just like the statement, but it is preceded by a WH questioning word, a WH interrogative word. Okay, so we can say this. Now, I'm going to give you examples about noun clauses or nominal clauses. The first example is what is promised is not always delivered. What is promised is not always delivered. Okay? Now, where is the noun clause? Just a minute. Hello? Hello? Okay, so we have an example here. What is promised is not always delivered. Look, actually, what is promised? This is the subject. What is promised? This is subject. I don't want to say the promising thing. I want to tell you that what is the promise? What did I promise you? What did I promise you is not always delivered, So instead of saying the noun itself, I said this clause. Okay, so what is in color, or in blue color, this is the noun clause. Look at its structure. Now, it is not clear in this clause what is promised. Something, and the idea is promised, right? The idea is promised, or the topic is promised, or something is promised. It is not clear in this clause, but it is going to be clear in the following clauses, in the following ones. What is promised is not always delivered. What is promised is the subject, is not always delivered. This is the predicate. Okay, so if I want to substitute the noun clause, I am going to say something is not always delivered. Okay, now the noun clause being used as the subject, the whole words which are in blue, they are the subject of the sentence. Okay, now it is not just like the structure of the time clauses. The time clauses, they are separated structures, somehow separated ones. They can be linked by a comma, or the subordination conjunction word can link between the two clauses. You can substitute one to be instead of the other, changing the places of them. Could be at the beginning of the sentence, or it could be after the comma, but within the relative adjectival clauses, we are adding more information about a certain noun, a certain preceding noun. The clause within the relative adjectival clause, they don't take the place of any word. They are supporter. They are supporter for the noun. So we said that they are post modifiers, if you remember. They are post modifiers for the noun, the relative adjectival clauses. The matter within the noun clause, no, it is totally different. The noun clause, it takes the place of a definite word within the structure of the sentence. It could be the subject, it could be the object, the direct object or the indirect object. Sometimes it could be the subject on one place and the object on the other place. Okay. The second example here, it is clear that we have two noun clauses. One in the place of the subject, and the other one in the place of the object. Now, what you see, this is the subject. What you get, this is the object. Can any one of you tell me why we cannot, can any one of you tell me why we cannot regard what you see as a questioning or interrogative clause, or a questioning sentence? Can any one of you, and حتى if I cut it and put it aside here, what you see, if I put it here, what you see, I cannot regard it as a question. Why? First of all, because there is no questioning mark at the end. There is no questioning mark at the end. This is number one. What else? I want you to tell me what else. I want you to tell me what else. What is this? The second thing that I cannot regard this as a questioning statement or sentence, and thus we regard it as a dependent clause, not independent one. Yes, Zainab Muhammad Abdul Samad.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
The structure of the sentence.
So, what is supposed to
When
be?
when we make it as a question, you should. What do you see?
Good. What do you see?
Yes.
So, if it is a question, it should be in this way. What do you see? Okay? So, now it is not a question. It looks like a question. Why? Because of the WH interrogative word, right? But it is not a question. I am not asking about anything. I just want to tell you that what you see is what you get. So don't trust within what you hear. Okay? So what you see is what you get. This is for the subject clause, right? Within the object clause, ya Zainab Muhammad Abdul Samad, it should be what if it is a question? It should be what? Yes, you, ya Zainab.
Yes. What you get? What do you get?
Yeah, what do you get? Okay, so if they are questions, they could be in this way: what do you see? What do you get? And the question mark at the end, of course. Now, within our situation, no, they are not questioning. They are what? They are interrogative clauses, noun clauses, and they are dependent clauses. They cannot stand alone, because if you put it aside and you write it just like this, the one who is going to see it or listen to you won't understand what do you want. What do you want? What you see. So what do you want from what you see? It is not complete. It is not understandable. Okay, so we don't it is not what it is not a questioning. Who sent this package is a mystery. Who sent this package is a mystery. Now, who sent this package? This is the noun clause, and it takes the place of the subject. Now, one of you would say, what's wrong within this one? There is no question mark at the end. But I cannot put a question mark here. Yani, it would be wrong to put a question mark there. Why? Because it is not a question. If it is going to be a question, I am going to say, is who sent this package a mystery? This is the questioning of the sentence. And I should put is at the beginning of the sentence. It is going to be just like this. Is what or who sent this package a mystery. يعني هل من أرسل هذه الباكج هل هو السر؟ هل من أرسل هذا؟ This is the question of this sentence. So يعني even putting question mark at the end won't solve the problem, won't solve the situation. It doesn't solve it. You have to, if you want to make it a question, this one, you have to cut it aside, cut it, and put a question mark at the end of this. وأنا ما ممكن أخلي هنا a question mark بالنص وأنا عندي is a mystery بعدين. ما ممكن يعني راح يكون خربطة بالستركتشر مالت الجملة. Okay? Now, these examples are of WH words. Let's take an example about that. We said that it is also it also works within the relative clauses. right? It is all, and we used it when we were talking about the relative clauses. Now, what is the difference between that in the relative clauses and that within the nominal clauses? Let us see. I know that they like her. I know that they like her. Now, where is the dependent clause? That they like her. It is now here. I know something. So I, subject, know the verb, and something is what is the object. So that they like her, it takes the place of the object. This is number one. This is the first difference. That that clauses, they took the place of a noun in the sentence. This is number one. So here it took the place of an object. The second thing is that we used that within the relative clauses to add more information about a preceding noun. We use that within the relative clauses to add information about a preceding noun. Now, is there a noun before that we want to talk about, or we add more information about that noun? Is there a noun preceding that and what follows are talking about that noun? Do we have such a thing? No. Okay, yes, that. So in this case, the that clause or the noun clause, it doesn't add more information. It doesn't add more information about any preceding noun. It takes the place of that noun. Okay, so this is the very important difference between that in relative clause and that in noun clauses. I know when the train will arrive. I know something. I know something. What is that thing? When the train will arrive. If it is a question, so it could be when will the train arrive? If it is a question, when will the train arrive? But because it is not a question, it is a noun clause, so it should be in this way, when the train will arrive. Okay? And now the noun clause being used as an object. Now, we have here till this point. Is everything clear? Is everything clear till this point? Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Is it clear? Yes. Yes, Yahsin.
Yes. Sorry, Deepa. The noun clause always depend clause, no? Depend sentence.
Dependent
Not
clause.
independent.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course. Even a time clause, is it dependent or independent, Yahsin? A time clause.
Dependent.
Dependent. A relative adjectival clause, dependent or independent?
I think independent.
No, relative adjectival clause.
Dependent. Sorry.
Dependent, okay? So the same thing within the noun clause. Because we have them in the sentence is called what? Because
Dependent.
no, the sentence as a whole. Because we have them in the sentence, time clause or relative adjectival clause with nominal clauses, because we have them in the sentence, so the sentence is definitely what? The sentence is definitely complex sentence. The sentence is definitely complex sentence, Yahsin. You are not going to think of it as a compound sentence. Clear?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Thus we are studying them now. لهذا أنا جاي أدرسكم إياهم هسه جاي لكم إذا if you see a time clause, a relative adjectival clause, a noun clause, so this sentence is going to be definitely a complex sentence. You cannot think of a compound sentence. Okay?
Okay, good.
Okay. Any other question? Now, we come to the most important thing within the noun clauses. As I said, within the time clause, we have two separated clauses. Within the time clause, we have two separated clauses. For example, I see when I was in my friend's house, I saw what? I saw something strange. Something strange. Okay? Now, this is time clause. Why? Because we have this whole clause. When I was in my friend's house, I saw something strange. I can't say it something in another way. I can't say it what? I saw something strange when I was in my friend's house. I saw something strange when I was in my friend's house. So I can't change the places of the clauses. I can't change the places of the clauses. When I was in my friend's house, it doesn't take any definite place within the independent clause. Okay? واحنا من حكينا على التري diagram مالتها قلنا راح تكون in this way. Sentence راح تكون in this way. Sentence عندنا هذه راح تكون sentence independent clause و dependent clause. هيك راح تكون clause 1 و clause 2. clause 1 و clause 2. طبعا بالclause 2 عفوا انا هسه مادام هي الوين بالبدايه راح يكون الوين موجوده بداخل الكلوز نمبر 1 وين ونسوي وياها subject و predicate ونكملها. Now, if it is relative adjectival clause, within the relative adjectival clause we said that the dependent clause it is within within not in the place of, within the subject or the object, or the direct object. It doesn't take the place of the subject or the object. No, it is within them. It is within them. For example, the man who was wearing a black suit was a thief. Okay, now this is relative adjectival clause. The man who was wearing a black suit was a thief. Now, where is the subject? The subject, the man, was wearing was a thief. This is the complement or the predicate. Who was wearing a black suit? This is something related to the noun, the man, the subject. Okay, so it is within the structure of the subject, within the structure of it, and it is of course dependent clause. When we came to a noun clause, the noun clause, it is in the place of the subject or in the place of the object or in the place of the prepositional phrase, the noun of the prepositional phrase. For example, if I want to make the tree diagram for this one, I know when the train will arrive. If I want to make the tree diagram for it, I would say the sentence the subject and the predicate. هنا the subject and هنا the predicate. Within the subject I, within the predicate no. Excuse me for my handwriting. Okay, no. And what is after no? When. When and البقية. Now within the predicate I have the verb phrase, اللي هي no, I have the object. What is the object here? Where when the train وكمل will arrive. هنا عندنا هنا فقط النو. الverb هو فقط الverb phrase هو just the verb اللي هو النو. This is the tree diagram of the noun clause. وإذا اجينا للي قبلها هذه مثلا what you see is what you get، راح تكون عندنا ال tree diagram هي ال sentence، عندنا هنا ال subject، وهنا عندنا ال predicate. بالsubject راح يكون عندنا what you see is what you get. راح يكون عندنا هنا ال predicate طبعا أيضا الverb والobject. شوفوا هاي راح تكون ال tree diagram مالتها. Now we come to the most important thing within the noun clause. راح أشيل هذه ال tree diagrams كلها من هنا حتى أقدر أحكي على اللي أنا أريد أقوله. We know that where is the dependent clause within the noun clause? Where is the dependent clause within the noun clause? Or the complex sentence that is carrying the noun clause? Where is the dependent clause? Do you know where is the dependent clause? Where is the dependent clause within the sentence that's carrying a noun clause? The dependent clause. Where is the dependent clause within the sentence that's carrying the noun clause? What's wrong with you? You don't know where is the dependent clause? Yes, Zainab Hashim.
Yes, it's in the position of an object or a subject.
So it is the noun clause itself.
Yeah.
The noun clause itself is what?
Is the dependent clause.
The dependent clause. Okay, thank you. Where is the independent clause? يعني now in these examples that you have here, where is the independent clause? Where is the independent clause? Like, what is promised is not always delivered. What you see is what you get. Who sent this package is a mystery. I know that they like her. I know when the train will arrive. Where is the independent clause? احنا مو قلنا الcomplex sentence there should be at least two clauses, one of them is dependent, the other one is independent. مو هذا تعريف this is the definition of the noun. This is the definition of a complex sentence, right? Where's the independent clause now? Okay, you don't know? Okay, look, what is promised is not always delivered. احنا عندنا independent clause which is written within the black اللي هي predicate. So in order to make it full independent, I'm going to write something instead of the noun clause. I'm going to write the word something instead of the noun clause to make it full the independent clause. So the noun clause is something is not always delivered. Something is not always delivered. Now it is يعني full in meaning مو يعني شيء ما ليس دائما يقال أو يعطى مو. This is what? This is the independent clause. What is that شيء ما? What is that شيء ما اللي هو dependent clause اللي هو what is promised. This is the something, and I don't want to say it right now. The second example, what you see is what you get. Now, what is the independent clause in this sentence? What is the independent clause in this sentence? Well, the independent clause طبعا هو ما بقى من عندها بس الإز. هسه هذه السنتنس ما بقى من عندها بالindependent clause. واضح إذا تريدون تقطعون تطلعون الديبندنت وتخلون بس الاندبندنت ما يبقى من عنده بس الإز. ليش؟ لأن الناون كلوز أخذ مكان السبجكت وأخذ مكان الأوبجكت اللي هو dependent. الناون كلوز صار عندي أنا I have هنا two noun clauses. هنا صار عندي كم noun clause بهذا المثال؟ 2. ولهذا احنا بتعريف الجملة الكومبلكس sentence شو نقول؟ نقول لازم اكو at least two clauses. على الأقل تبدي تعريف الكومبلكس sentence يبدي من انه على الأقل لازم اكو two clauses. One of them is independent, the other one is dependent. فإذا هو يقول لك لازم تبدي بتو clauses ممكن تصير 3 اي ممكن يصيرون 3. المثال الثاني اللي هو what you see is what you get. أنا عندي 3 clauses. بهذا المثال I have 3 clauses. What are they? Number 1, what you see, dependent. Number 1, what you see وهو dependent وهو أخذ مكان subject, right? The second clause, what you get. The second clause, what you get هو أيضا dependent وأخذ مكان الأوبجكت. الثيرد كلوز اللي هو الاندبندنت، حتى لأن إذا ما موجود اندبندنت شلون نقول هذه الجملة هي complex sentence؟ احنا لازم عندنا independent clause حتى نقول هذه الجملة هي complex sentence. الثيرد كلوز هو السبجكت زائد الاس زائد الاوبجكت. فإذا السبجكت هو dependent clause شو أسوي حتى أبين أنا عندي independent clause؟ أقول something is something. something is something مثل ما مكتوب جواها. شوفوا شو مكتوب جواها something is something. هذا هو independent clause. هذا هو independent clause. فالnoun clause ياخذ شلون الفيروس يحتل مكان بالجملة، مو يصير شيء ملتصق بالجملة مثل الريلاتيف كلوزز، مو فد شيء بعيد جدا عن الاندبندنت كلوز مثل التايم كلوزز. لا، الناون كلوزز يصير مثل الفيروس، يعني ياخذ مكان بداخل، ياخذ له موقع بداخل الجملة، ياخذ له موقع يعني مؤثر بالجملة، يا اما يكون السبجكت، يا اما يكون الاوبجكت، اوكي، او يكون الدايركت اوبجكت، الاندايركت اوبجكت، بحيث انت من تستقطعها من الجمله، يعني تشيلها من الجمله، تحتاج فد شيء تخليه بمكانه حتى ترمم، حتى يرجع الاندبندنت كلوز مفهوم، او يرجع الاندبندنت كلوز كامل كستركتشر بسبجكت باوبجكت. اوكي. وطبعا الناون كلوز ما ياخذ مكان الفيرب ابدا. ليش؟ من اسمه هو ناون كلوز، ما ياخذ مكان الفيرب، هو ياخذ مكان الناون، هو ياخذ مكان الناون، مو يشير للناون مثل الريلاتيف كلوزز. اوكي. فعندنا هنا who sent this package is a mystery. Something is a mystery. هذا الاندبندنت كلوز. Something is a mystery. I know that they like her. I know that they like her. Independent clause, I know something. I know something. What is that something? That they like her. I know when the train will arrive. I know something. This is the independent clause. I know something. Okay. Two common types of noun clauses in English طبعا حكيناها بالبداية هي that clauses and WH clauses. What is the that clauses? I believe that everything happens for a reason. That everything happens for a reason. This is the that clause. How do I know what I think until I see what I say? Now, this is WH clause. هنا where is the dependent clause? What I think until I see what I say. What I say. عندنا two dependent clauses. What I think, what I say. طبعا هذه الجملة هي complex compound sentence أو compound complex sentence. هذه الجملة compound complex sentence اللي احنا راح ناخذها آخر نوع من أنواع الجمل. Compound complex sentence. Compound complex sentence. Why it is compound complex sentence? Because we have no, sorry, this is also this is not compound complex sentence, it is complex sentence, sorry. It is complex sentence, but I have the noun clauses and time clauses. Noun clauses and time clause. It is one sentence. It is complex sentence, one sentence. I have a noun clause اللي هي what I think, what I say, and I have until I see time clause. It is in the shape of a question. Why? Because how do I know? Actually, it is I know something. I know what I think. I know something. I know what I think. Until I see what I say. هاي كلش complicated sentence، بس هي توضح لكم ان ممكن احنا ناخذ اكثر من كلوز بداخل الجمله الوحده. يعني هسه انا عندي هنا هذا كلوز، هذا بي كلوزز، تو كلوزز، هذا بي تو كلوزز، وهذا بي تو كلوزز، هذا بي تو كلوزز، وهذا بي تو كلوزز، 4 كلوزز، 4 كلوزز عندي in one sentence في جمله واحده. Now عندنا الجملة اللي احنا هسه اذا خذيناها قلنا for example I know the truth. I know the truth. This is a simple sentence. Simple sentence. Why? Because I the subject, know the verb, the truth is the object. I don't want to say this اللي هو something. احنا قلنا قلنا هسه هذا something. مو I know the truth. I know something. I don't want to say that this word the truth. I know that you are right. I know that you are right. Now it becomes what? Complex sentence. Because I put what? That clause here. It remains unknown. It remains unknown. Something remains unknown. Something remains unknown. I don't want to write it. I want to write the WH clause. Why they left town? Why they left the town remains unknown. So it changed from a simple sentence to be a complex sentence. This is the independent clause. This is the independent clause. يعني إذا رجعنا هنا للي فوق, what is the promise is not always delivered. It is not, يعني ممكن أنا بدل something شو أكتب it. It is not always delivered. صارت independent clause. Okay? What you see is what you get. It, what you get. Or it is it. It is it. Who sent this package is a mystery. It is a mystery. إذا خليناها هيك صارت independent clause وصارت واضحة إن هي يعني رجعت طبعا simple sentence. رجعت simple sentence. Okay. Now, notice that noun clauses look just like other dependent clauses. They begin with a subordinate conjunction word. They begin with a subordinate conjunction word and contain both a subject and a verb phrase. However, when a sentence has a noun clause, the rest of the sentence cannot stand alone. يعني مثل ما قلنا احنا ما ممكن تخلي الباقي من الجملة يبقى بوحدة، لا لازم تعوض عن مكان النون كلوز بكلمة. فمثلا it needs the noun clause to be complete. For example, in sentence P, remains unknown is not complete sentence. I should put what? It remains unknown. It remains unknown. I should put a word instead of the noun clause حتى يرجع الindependent clause كامل. Okay? Now, the goal of our company is what is explained in the profile. What is the goal of our company? The goal of our company is what is explained in the profile. The goal of our company is something. The goal of our company is something. What is that something? Is what is explained in the profile. What is explained in the profile? The underlined portion of the sentence contains the subject and the verb. Okay? يعني هنا what takes the place of the subject is explained in the profile. This is the verb phrase. The italic portion is the noun phrase, the noun clause, which contains a subject and a verb, but is a dependent clause. Why it is a dependent clause? Because it doesn't end with a question mark. This is number one. And the structure of it is not like the structure of the question. وتركيبته لا تشبه تركيبة السؤال. Now, in this case, the noun clause is acting as the direct object of the sentence. The direct object of the sentence. The goal of our company, this is the subject, all, and is what is explained in the profile. What is explained in the profile? This is the object, the direct object. Now, The other example, you should speak about how your parents migrated to this country. You should speak something. You should speak about something. Now, it takes the place of a noun phrase after the preposition about. After the preposition about. You should speak about something. إننا نبدي. You should speak about something. Okay? اللي هو how your parents migrated to this country. The underlined portion of this sentence is a prepositional phrase beginning with the preposition about and ending within the noun clause. The noun clause acts as the object of the preposition. صار هسه هنا شنو الناون phrase أو يعني noun clause هو الناون phrase مالت prepositional phrase. Don't forget to send whoever attended the conference a follow-up email. Don't forget to send something a follow-up email. The direct object in this sentence is a follow-up email. This is the direct object. The recipient of that email is the noun clause اللي هو whoever attend the conference. Also, it is the indirect object. هو الnoun clause هو indirect object. Okay? هو a receipt of the action اللي هو sending. Now, we have one more idea within the noun clause. That, do you remember that we delete that within the relative adjectival clauses? We delete that within the relative adjectival clauses. Do you remember? طبعا مرحلة ثانية أنا ما راح أنطي لأي أحد أي درجة يومي ما عدا اللي يقومون دائما هم معدودين على اليد، يعني معدودين على الأصابع، موجودين بالتسجيلات مالت المحاضرة. أرجع لهم وهم هذول فقط اللي أنطيهم درجة اليومي. والله ولا واحد من عندكم راح أنطيه أي درجة باليومي، خاصة بالفصل الثاني، لأن ما راح أنطي واجب. عندكم 5 درجات بالفصل الثاني، ما راح أنطي لأي أحد من عندكم، فقط اللي تاخذون درجات درجات الحضور ودرجات الامتحان. الحضور عليه درجتين، المشاركة عليها 3 درجات من 5 بالفصل الثاني. زين، ما راح أنطي أي من هذين 3 درجات أي شيء لأي أحد، لأن أنتم كلكم ماخذين درب السكتة، ما حد من عندكم يحكي وياي ولا أي أحد من عندكم يشارك وياي، ما عدا معدودين الأصابع اللي ما يتعدون أحيانا 10. زين، يعني هم زينب هاشم، زينب محمد عبد الصمد، حسين هنا عندكم، آمال أحيانا تشارك، بعض الأسماء اللي أنا ما حافظتها كلها، بس هم هذول اللي راح أعطيهم الدرجتين، ولا الباقيين كل شيء ما أعطيهم. يس يا زينب أحمد قاسم.
Yes, Miss. I remember one time that you said that we cannot use that after a preposition in a relative clause.
No.
Did you hear me?
We can't delete that. We can't delete that within the relative clauses. When we can't delete that within the relative clauses? When we can delete that within the relative clauses? When? When we can delete that within the relative clauses? Yes, Rana. Rana Anwar, طبعا.
Yeah. When we have extra information?
No.
No.
Yeah, what do you mean by extra information?
Additional? معلومة إضافية.
هي أصلا relative clause هو additional information to the preceding noun. هو relative clause هو additional information to the preceding noun.
أقصد يعني لما تكون الجملة يعني جملة معرفة فما
يعني
نحتاج
you mean when it is non-essential clause, non-essential? When it is non-essential?
Yes.
How comes يا رنا؟ Yes حسن علي مالك.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes حسن.
Yeah, that is often used to introduce defining relative clauses when they follow the words something, anything, and everything, and nothing, all or
I am not
superlative.
talking about the noun clauses يا حسن. I am talking about when we can delete that in relative clauses, not in noun clauses.
Yeah, when it is not the subject of the clause.
No. Yes يا زينب مازن نعيم.
Yes, doctor. We can delete it in defining a relative clause.
And defining relative clauses, that's right. What do you mean by defining relative clauses? What do you mean by defining relative clauses يا زينب مازن?
Yes, doctor.
What do you
Defining
mean by yeah? When it is the information, they are essential. There is no comma separated between the noun and the relative clause.
when the
right?
sentence, the sentence,
It is defining احنا مو قلنا relative clauses, they are either defining relative clauses or non-defining relative clauses. There are two types of relative clauses, defining or non-defining. Where can we define that? When it is defining relative clauses, when the ideas are essential and there is no comma separated between the noun and the relative clause. Right? هاي حكينا بالمحاضرة السابقة أو محاضرات السابقة. Now, that within the noun clause can also be deleted. That, only that. I don't talk about WH clauses. احنا مو قلنا الnoun clauses could be شوفوا نانا الnoun, there are two common types of noun clauses in English are that clauses and WH clauses. That clauses and WH clauses. I am talking about that clauses now. This that within the noun clause can be deleted. Okay? Can be deleted. يعني you can sometimes you don't find it ممسوحة. For example, I know that you are right. مو قلنا هسه هذه هنا dependent clause, noun clause هي ماخذة مكان الأوبجكت بالسنتنس. I can delete that. I can say I know you are right. I can do it within that clause. You believed that the definite was the definite was incident. You believe the definite was incident. So I can delete that. Now, look. As you can see, we can delete the subordinating conjunction that in a noun clause when the dependent clause follows the main clause. Follows it, not preceding it. يعني when it is within the place of an object, within the place of direct, indirect object, within the prepositional phrase, but we can't do it when the noun clause takes the place of the subject. We can't delete that when it takes the place of the subject. However, if the dependent clause comes before the main clause، شلون يجي before the main clause؟ غير يجي subject، غير يجي هو الفاعل مالت الجملة. Okay? The subordinating conjunction cannot be deleted. شوفوا look just like this. That her daughter is talented. هذا هو شنو؟ هذا هو الديبندنت clause. That her daughter is talented. هذا هو noun clause. هذا هو dependent clause. Has been obvious for years. هذا هنا عندنا predicate. هذا أخذ مكان subject. يعني احنا هنا عندنا نقول something has been obvious for years. شيء ما كان واضحا لعدة سنين. Something. Now, can I delete that here in this example? Can I say her daughter is talented has been obvious for years? No. Wrong. هذه العلامة معناها this sentence is not correct in its structure. معناها هذه الجملة مو صحيحة بالتركيبة مالتها. فهذا اللي أقصده. We can't delete the subordinate conjunction word اللي هي that in the noun clause when the dependent clause follows the main clause. يعني يصير من هنا بالobject direct object indirect object بعد الpreposition ممكن أنا أمسح الذات. لكن however if the dependent clause comes before the main clause the subordinating conjunction that cannot be deleted. I cannot delete that. Another example, that the defendant was innocent became clear during the trial. The defendant was innocent ما ممكن أقولها بهالطريقة became clear during the trial. يعني هذه غلط ما ممكن أمسح الذات هنا. Okay? Now, the last thing I want you to remember, sometimes we have طبعا احنا راح ناخذ ال if clauses ايضا راح ناخذ why clauses types من كتايبز من ال clauses اللي تدخل بالcomplex sentence. واحدة من عندها ال if clauses. لكن لازم نفرقها ما بين ال if clause أو ال whether ك if clauses conditional clauses أو ك noun clauses. يعني هسه احنا عندنا دائما انتم تشوفون ال if عبالكم ال if هي conditional clauses. دائما من تباوعون لل if عبالكم ال if هي conditional clauses. لا ال if ممكن تشتغل noun clause ممكن تشتغل conditional clause. شلون يعني؟ ال if when it becomes conditional clause عندها بعض القوانين. عندنا first if conditional zero طبعا عندنا قبلها zero. عندنا if conditional first clause مو first يعني first clause yes. عندنا second conditional if وعندنا third conditional if. عندنا four conditional ifs. ال zero if ال first conditional if السكند conditional if والثيرد conditional if. راح اكتب لكم هسه امثله عليها وتشوفون شنو الفرق بينها وبين هذا المثال اللي هو noun clause. اذا ناخذ مثال على الاف طبعا راح اكتب if على الكونديشنال clause. راح تكون حالة حالة time clauses شكلها مثل التايم clauses. مثلا اقول if I study I pass. هذه zero. if I study I pass. بالمضارع يعني اثنيناتهم يكونون present simple. هذا present simple هذا present simple. اوكي هذا الاولى اللي هي zero condition. تاخذها احنا كحقائق نشتغل وياها كحقائق. يعني حقيقة ثابتة إذا درست تنجح. تدرس يعني تدرس بفهم مو تدرس بس عيونك بالكتاب. if I study I pass. اوكي، هذه الزيرو كونديشن، وهنا تعتبر حقيقة. اوكي، بعض الناس تعتبر هي هذه عندهم حقيقة ثابتة، طبعا هي صحيحة، انت تدرس تنجح. نجي للثانية، طبعا هذه ممكن اكتبها بغير طريقة، هذه الجملة ممكن اكتبها بطريقة ثانية. خلنا نخلي هنا علامة حتى يعني افرز بين ممكن اقول I pass if I study. مو صحيح؟ I pass if I study. شوفوا حالها حال التايم كلوز، حالها حال التايم كلوز. ممكن اخليها بالبداية subordinating conjunction word، وممكن اخليها بالنص. اذا خليتها بالبداية اكو كوما، اذا خليتها بالنص بعد ماكو كوما. هذه الفيرست كلوز. اوكي، طبعا اذا قلت if I study هنا ما مفهومة. اذا قلت I pass انا نجحت، مفهومة، او انا يعني ينجح، انا انجح، مفهومة. independent clause، لان الباس ما يحتاج object تخلي له، الفعل باس ما يحتاج تخلي له object. نعم، السكند condition if I study hard, if I study hard I will pass the exam. Now this is first condition. Within the if it is present. The independent clause it is in the future. هسه هذا dependent. if I study hard هذه dependent. I will pass the exam هذا independent. ممكن طبعا اكتبها بغير طريقة، ممكن اقول I will pass the exam if I study hard. حط نقطة. اوكي، نجي للكونديشن الثالث. if I studied، لو درست، الظاهر ان انا ما درست. if I studied hard comma I would pass the exam. if I studied I would، لو دارس كان نجحت، الظاهر انا ما درست. هذه هنا راح يكون ورا الاف past simple، والثانية يكون ايضا past simple باستخدام المودal auxiliary would plus الانفينيتيف. هذه السكند كونديشن. طبعا هي الثيرد كيس، لكن هذه نسميها second conditional clause. ممكن ايضا اكتبها بهالطريقة، اقول I would pass the exam if I studied hard. I would pass the exam هي ال independent clause. if I studied hard هذه ال dependent clause. نجي للأخير وحدة الثالثة اللي هي if I had studied hard I would have passed the exam. هذه يكون عندنا وراها ال past perfect بعد ال if، واللي بعدها أيضا تكون بالتمامية I would have passed the exam. شوفوا هذه ال if من تشتغل condition، هيك structures مالتها. لكن من تشتغل noun clause whether أو if طبعا عندنا nominal clauses may also begin within expletives اللي هن شنو هن expletives عندنا whether if. شوفوا the question is whether he can do the job طبعا تكملتها or not, whether he can do the job or not. Now the question is هي subject والverb. whether he can do the job هذا هو noun clause starting within whether اللي هو expletive word اللي هي أيضا ال WH questioning word. he can do طبعا كله شوفوا الnoun clause شنو مأشرة أنا كله nominal clause as subjective complement. The question is something. The question is something. The question is whether he can do the job or not. طبعا ممكن تستخدم or not وممكن ما تستخدمه هي بالmeaning موجودة. The same thing within if. I don't know if it is raining or not. I don't know if it is raining or not. Now here if it is not a conditional. It is not a conditional sentence. No, it is a noun clause. Why? Because يعني if you change it, if it is raining or not, I don't know. You cannot do it just like this. There is no condition in the meaning of the sentence. There is no condition. No condition to do this, and this is going to happen. Meaning there is semantically, there is no condition. It is just that I don't have the idea, there is no idea whether it is going to rain or not. ماكو شرط لحدوث المطر. If it, for example, if it is raining, we will cancel our picnic. This is what? This is condition. If it is raining, we will cancel our trip, for example. لكن هنا no. I don't know if it is raining كملوها or not. التكملة مالتها هي or not. Now here it is what? It is noun clause. It is not conditional clause. الستركتشر مالتها يقول لك الستركتشر والسيمانتك. semantically أيضا يبلغك إن هذه what? It is not a conditional sentence. It is a noun clause. Okay? Now أنا طبعا حكيت وشرحت شنو الفرق بين الناون clauses وبين الادجكتيف relative clauses طوال المحاضرة. حكيت شنو هي. ونرجع مرة ثانية يقول لك noun clauses and adjective clauses are often confused with each other. Why? Because they are introduced within similar words. Particularly relative pronouns. خاصة اللي تبدي ب relative pronouns. To tell them apart, see if the word starting the sentence has an antecedent. يعني إذا أكو بيها الجملة هل هي بيها يعني كلمة الناون موجودة لو ما موجودة. If it does, the clause is an adjective. يعني إذا عندي مثلا the man who is doing this thing, the place where we can go, the cat which is, this is antecedent, I mean, by it. If it is there, so this is what? This is adjective clause. The word starting a noun clause is never an antecedent. اللي بالذات clause ما يكون عندنا قبلها أي كلمة تشير إلى هذا الذات clause. Okay? Now, if these are two examples. Effective salesmen understand whom they must respond to. شوفوا احنا لو عندنا هذه تكون relative adjective clause المفروض قبل هذه الwhom اكو noun هنا، هذه الهوم تعود عليه، بس احنا قبلها اكو what؟ اكو understand اللي هو verb. So this is not a relative adjective clause. This is a noun clause. ليش؟ لأن هي effective salesman understand something. What is that thing? Whom they must respond to. This is a noun clause because whom doesn't have an antecedent. Effective, the same sentence up. I change a little within it. غيرت شوية بيها. Effective salesman شوفوا who respond to a customer needs. البائعين النشطين الذين شوفوا هنا اجت هنا الذين يعني يتفاعلون او يعني يتجاوبون الى احتياجات الزبائن are respected. إذا صارت هنا what? This is adjectival relative clause. Why? Because عندنا هذه salesman سبقت الهو، وهذه الهو مو بس لازم تسبقها، لازم هذه الهو and what is follows okay related to the salesman. بالمعنى هي تعود المن؟ تعود للsalesman. Okay, so this is how to differentiate between relative clause and noun clauses. Now عندكم هنا باراجراف، هذا أريده من عندكم الأسبوع القادم نسوي بداية المحاضرة. I want you to test your understanding. Now I want you to take out the sentences, the clauses here, and say all the clauses that you may find. وإحنا شرحناهم. And I want you to tell me what is the type of this clause. Okay, يعني هنا what was left on Margot's mind reeled. Okay, she could hear the listless scrubbing sounds of fingertips against the floor. It haunted her to consider that a CEO. شوفوا هسه عندنا هنا that. شنو هي هذه الذات؟ هل هي time clause؟ لو هي relative adjective clause you have to tell me. They were faces she once knew in a different light, but now they were putrid reflections of, there was only what she could glean from their lifeless eyes. شوفوا شنو اللي بعد موجودة بيها من clauses وتقولوا لي شنو التايب مالتها. This is your exercise for the next week. Okay? That's all for today. We finished earlier today. If you have a question, yes حسين.
دكتور العفو مو سؤال، بس المحاضرة إذا مسجلتها تو فصل عندي النت ممكن ترسليها بالكلاس؟
Yes, okay, يعني it is recorded. Yes. وياها الهتشة مالتكم مالت اليومي.
عادي.
Okay. Yes. Is there anything you want to ask about? نورا شنو عندك جاية داخلة ويانا يا نورا رحيم تشكي طاهر؟ يعني انتو عبالكم ما يبين عندي ومبين عندي بالاتندنس، يبين عندي منو اللي داخل ويانا بالاتندنس، ولا راح اقبلها نورا. خلي تسجل غياب ويا مجموعتها، خلي تسجل غياب. قولوا لها ودوا لها قولوا لها ما راح اقبلها. انتو عندكم بالتليجرام قولوا لها ما راح تقبلك الست لأن أنت داخلة ويا مجموعة ألف، ويا شعبة ألف. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for your Okay, thank you for your coming, and that's all for today. See you next week. Yes, Zainab Pasha. Yes, Zainab Pasha.
نعم السلام عليكم أستاذ.
عليكم السلام.
عفوا أكو مرات أستاذة أحاول يعني أشارك بالمحاضرة السابقة بس المايك ما يفتح عندي، بهاي الحالة شلون يعني؟